Right now, as you're watching this video, there's a chemical warfare happening inside your mouth. And what I'm about to reveal will completely change how you think about attraction, seduction, and the invisible forces that make someone irresistibly drawn to you. You see, while most men are obsessing over pickup lines, fashion tips, and gym routines, they're completely missing the most primal, most powerful weapon of seduction that's been hiding in plain sight for millions of years. What if I told you that some of history's greatest seducers knew a secret that modern science is only now beginning to understand? A secret so bizarre, so counterintuitive, that when you hear it, you'll either think I've lost my mind or you'll have one of those earth-shattering moments where everything suddenly makes perfect sense. This isn't about what you say, how you look, or even how confident you appear. This is about something far more fundamental, something that operates below the threshold of conscious awareness but drives attraction at the most basic biological level. The ancient Romans had a phrase, in vino veritas, in wine, truth. But they were only scratching the surface of a much deeper biological truth. Your saliva, right now, is carrying information more intimate and more revealing than your dating profile, your bank account, or even your most carefully crafted stories about yourself. And the woman sitting across from you, whether she knows it or not, is reading this information like a book. Let me paint you a picture. It's 1970, and a young researcher named Martha McClintock is about to stumble upon something that will revolutionize our understanding of human attraction. She's studying women in college dormitories, and she notices something strange. Women who live together start syncing their menstrual cycles. But here's where it gets interesting. This synchronization isn't happening through conversation or shared experiences. It's happening through invisible chemical signals called pheromones. And guess where these pheromones are most concentrated? In your saliva. But this is just the beginning of the rabbit hole. Dr. Helen Fisher, one of the world's leading experts on romantic love, discovered that when we kiss someone, we're not just sharing an intimate moment. We're conducting the most sophisticated chemical analysis known to biology. Your saliva contains testosterone, estrogen, cortisol, and dozens of other chemical messengers that communicate your genetic compatibility, your stress levels, your immune system strength, and even your emotional state. In essence, every kiss is a biological interview for potential mating. Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds like science fiction, but here's where it gets really wild. Researchers at Oxford University conducted a study where they had women smell t-shirts worn by different men. Without exception, women were most attracted to the scent of men whose immune systems were most different from their own. Why? Because genetically diverse offspring have stronger immune systems. Your saliva carries these same immune system markers, and when a woman tastes it, she's unconsciously evaluating whether your genetic material would create healthier children with hers. But here's the kicker. Most men are sabotaging this natural process without even knowing it. Think about it. When was the last time you really paid attention to what's in your mouth? The average man consumes processed foods, drinks alcohol, smokes, takes medications, and uses chemical-laden toothpastes and mouthwashes. All of these are altering the chemical composition of your saliva, essentially scrambling the biological signals you're supposed to be sending. Robert Greene, author of The Art of Seduction, talks about the importance of mystery and intrigue in attraction. But he was thinking on a psychological level. The real mystery, the real intrigue, is happening at a molecular level. Your saliva is telling a story about you that you might not even be aware you're telling. And this story can either work for you or against you. Let me share something that will blow your mind. In traditional cultures around the world, there are rituals and practices that, without understanding the science behind them, actually optimize the seductive power of saliva. In some Pacific Island cultures, men would choose certain herbs before courting rituals. In ancient India, Ayurvedic texts describe specific foods and practices that enhance what they called ojas, essentially your vital essence and attractiveness. These weren't superstitions. These cultures had stumbled upon biological truths that we're only now beginning to understand scientifically. Dr. Anjan Chatterjee, a neurologist at the University of Pennsylvania, has shown that attraction happens in the brain within milliseconds of encountering someone new. But what triggers this lightning-fast assessment? It's not their pickup line or their designer clothes. It's an instantaneous chemical evaluation that happens largely through scent and, when close enough, through chemical signals in saliva during conversation, and eventually, kissing. Now here's where most men go wrong. They think seduction is about performance, about putting on a show. But what if I told you that the most powerful seduction happens when you're being authentically yourself, but the most optimized version of yourself? Your saliva, when it's in its natural, healthy state, is already programmed to attract the right woman for you. The problem is, modern life has hijacked this system. Think about the last time you were really attracted to someone. Not just physically, but that deep, inexplicable pull that made you want to be near them, to breathe the same air, to get close enough to, well, to taste them. That wasn't just emotional or psychological. That was your biology recognizing something essential about their biology. And the same thing was happening in reverse. Your chemical signature was being evaluated at a level far below conscious thought. Mystery Method's Neil Strauss wrote about creating attraction through psychological techniques. And while these can work, they're essentially overriding biological systems rather than working with them. What if, instead of fighting against your biology, you learned to optimize it? What if, instead of trying to trick someone into being attracted to you, you became genuinely more attractive at a cellular level? Here's something most people don't realize. Your saliva changes throughout the day based on what you eat, how you feel, your stress levels, and even your thoughts. When you're genuinely confident, your saliva has a different chemical composition than when you're anxious or trying to fake confidence. When you're healthy and vital, it's different than when you're run down or nutrient deficient. Women can sense these differences, even if they can't consciously articulate what they're sensing. Dr. Rachel Hertz, author of The Scent of Desire, discovered that women have a much more sensitive sense of smell and chemical detection than men. This makes evolutionary sense. Women needed to be more selective about mating partners because pregnancy required such a massive investment of resources. Your saliva is essentially your biological resume, and she's reading it whether you know it or not. But here's the fascinating part. This isn't just about attraction, it's about compatibility. Have you ever noticed how you can be physically attracted to someone, but when you kiss them, something feels off? That's your biology telling you that despite surface compatibility, you're not a good genetic match. Conversely, have you ever met someone who wasn't necessarily your type physically, but when you got close to them, there was this magnetic pull you couldn't explain? That's biological compatibility overriding your conscious preferences. The ancient art of perfume making understood this intuitively. Traditional perfumers didn't just create pleasant scents. They created chemical symphonies designed to enhance natural pheromones. Sandalwood, for instance, contains compounds similar to male sex hormones. Jasmine mimics female pheromones. These weren't arbitrary choices. They were based on thousands of years of observation about what creates attraction. Now, I want you to imagine walking into a room and knowing that your very presence is chemically influencing every person there. Not through manipulation or trickery, but through the natural optimization of your biological systems. This isn't science fiction. This is cutting-edge science applied to ancient wisdom. Dr. Karl Grammer at the University of Vienna conducted studies showing that men's saliva actually changes in response to attractive women. When men were exposed to female pheromones, their testosterone levels increased, which altered the chemical composition of their saliva within minutes. This suggests that attraction isn't just about finding the right person. It's about becoming more attractive when you're around them. But here's where it gets really interesting. The men who showed the most dramatic changes in their saliva chemistry were also rated as most attractive by the women in the study. It's as if their bodies were automatically optimizing their seductive potential in real time. The question is, how do you consciously trigger this optimization? Think about the difference between a man who's genuinely at ease with himself and a man who's trying to impress. You can feel it, can't you? There's something in their presence, something you can almost taste in the air around them. That's not metaphorical, that's biochemical. Confidence, genuine confidence, has a chemical signature. Anxiety has a different one. Desperation has another. And women are evolutionarily programmed to detect these differences. David Deida, author of The Way of the Superior Man, talks about masculine presence and how it affects women. While he approaches it from a spiritual perspective, modern science is revealing the biological mechanisms behind what he observed. Your presence, Your genuine, unguarded, optimized presence creates a chemical field around you that influences everyone in your vicinity. The Japanese have a concept called ikigai, your life's purpose. When you're living in alignment with your ikigai, everything about you changes, including your biochemistry. Your stress hormones decrease, your immune system strengthens, your hormone balance optimizes, and yes, your saliva becomes more chemically attractive. This isn't New Age nonsense. This is measurable, quantifiable biology. But let's get practical. How do you optimize this system? First, understand that your mouth is an ecosystem. Everything you put into it affects the chemical environment. The foods you eat, the liquids you drink, the supplements you take, even the thoughts you think. All of these influence the chemical composition of your saliva. Water quality matters more than you might think. Chlorinated tap water doesn't just kill harmful bacteria, it kills beneficial bacteria too. Your mouth needs a healthy microbiome to produce the right chemical signals. Many of the most attractive men I know have intuitively gravitated toward natural spring water, not because they understood the science, but because they could sense the difference it made in how they felt and how others responded to them. Your diet is literally creating your chemical signature. Processed foods, excessive sugar, and artificial additives create inflammatory responses that alter your pheromone production. Meanwhile, foods rich in zinc, vitamin D, and healthy fats support optimal hormone production, which directly affects your saliva chemistry. Ancient cultures that prized certain foods for their aphrodisiac properties weren't being superstitious. They were observing real biochemical effects. Sleep affects every aspect of your hormonal system. When you're sleep-deprived, your cortisol levels spike, your testosterone drops, and your saliva chemistry becomes less attractive. This is why you instinctively know that someone who's well-rested has a different energy than someone who's running on caffeine and stress. Exercise, particularly strength training, optimizes your hormone profile in ways that directly translate to more attractive body chemistry. But there's a sweet spot. Overtraining creates chronic stress, which has the opposite effect. This is why the most attractive men often have a relaxed relationship with fitness rather than an obsessive one. Stress management isn't just about feeling better, it's about chemical optimization. Chronic stress floods your system with cortisol, which suppresses testosterone production and creates chemical signals that women unconsciously associate with poor genetic fitness. Meditation, deep breathing, time in nature. These aren't just feel-good activities. They're biochemical optimization tools. Mental state affects chemistry more directly than most people realize. When you're genuinely happy, grateful, and at peace with yourself, your body produces different chemicals than when you're anxious, resentful, or trying to prove something. Women can sense this difference immediately, even before you speak. Now, here's something that will challenge everything you think you know about attraction. The most attractive men aren't necessarily the most conventionally handsome, the richest, or even the most confident in the traditional sense. They're the men whose biochemistry is most optimized, whose chemical signature is most honest and appealing. These men have a magnetism that transcends physical appearance or social status. Consider this. Pheromones are so powerful that they can influence women's ovulation cycles, mood, and even their perception of physical attractiveness. When your pheromone profile is optimized, women literally see you as more attractive than when it's not. This isn't about deception. It's about becoming the most authentic, vital version of yourself. The supplement industry has tried to bottle this with synthetic pheromones, but they miss the point entirely. Authentic attraction comes from authentic biochemistry. You can't fake this any more than you can fake genuine confidence. But you can optimize the conditions that allow your natural attractiveness to flourish. Breathing patterns affect your brain chemistry and, consequently, your saliva composition. Deep, relaxed breathing promotes parasympathetic nervous system activation, which optimizes hormone production. Shallow, anxious breathing does the opposite. This is why breathwork has been part of traditional masculine development practices across cultures. Your environment matters more than you might think. Spending time in nature, particularly near moving water or in forests, exposes you to negative ions that affect your biochemistry positively. Urban environments, especially those with poor air quality, can suppress your natural pheromone production. This isn't about becoming a hippie, it's about understanding the environmental factors that influence your attractiveness. Social connections affect your biochemistry too. Men who have strong, authentic friendships with other men have different hormone profiles than men who are isolated or whose relationships are superficial. Community, tribe, brotherhood, these aren't just emotional needs, they're biochemical necessities that directly affect your attractiveness. The timing of interactions matters more than you might realize. Your pheromone production follows circadian rhythms, peaking at certain times of day. Your stress levels, energy levels, and hormone balance all fluctuate predictably. Learning to work with these natural rhythms rather than against them can dramatically improve your success in attraction. Temperature affects pheromone volatility, the rate at which they become airborne and detectable. This is why attraction often feels more intense in warm environments or during physical activity when body temperature rises. It's also why cold environments can dampen attraction. The chemical signals literally aren't being transmitted as effectively. Alcohol's effect on attraction isn't just about lowering inhibitions, it actually alters pheromone production and perception. While a small amount might relax you and improve your chemical profile, too much suppresses your natural signals and makes you less attractive at a biological level, even if you feel more confident. The clothes you wear can either enhance or suppress your natural scent. Natural fibers like cotton, linen, and wool allow your pheromones to transmit more effectively than synthetic materials. This is why many naturally attractive men gravitate toward natural fabrics without consciously understanding why. Your skin health directly affects pheromone transmission. Healthy skin with a balanced microbiome transmits chemical signals more effectively than skin that's been stripped of its natural oils and bacteria by harsh chemicals. The men who seem to have that indefinable glow often have optimized their skin's ecosystem. Gut health influences everything about your biochemistry, including pheromone production. Your gut microbiome affects your immune system, hormone production, and even neurotransmitter synthesis. Men with healthy digestion often have more attractive body chemistry, not coincidentally. The practice of oil pulling, ancient in Ayurvedic medicine, is now being studied for its effects on oral microbiome and overall health. Swishing coconut or sesame oil in your mouth for 10-20 minutes daily can dramatically improve your oral ecosystem, which directly affects your saliva chemistry. Fasting, when done correctly, can reset your biochemistry in profound ways. It optimizes hormone production, reduces inflammation, and can make your natural scent more attractive. Many cultures have fasting practices associated with purification and increased vitality. They were observing real biochemical effects. Your posture affects your breathing, which affects your brain chemistry, which affects your saliva composition. Standing and sitting with proper alignment isn't just about looking confident, it's about optimizing the physical conditions for attractive biochemistry. Mental practices like visualization and positive thinking aren't just psychological tools. They have measurable effects on hormone production and biochemistry. When you genuinely feel attractive and confident, your body chemistry actually becomes more attractive. The concept of sexual transmutation that Napoleon Hill writes about in Think and Grow Rich might have a biochemical basis. When sexual energy is channeled into creative or productive pursuits rather than dissipated, it may optimize hormone levels in ways that increase overall attractiveness and magnetism. Your relationship with yourself affects every aspect of your biochemistry. Self-love isn't just a psychological concept, it's a biochemical state that others can detect. Men who genuinely like themselves emit different chemical signals than men who are trying to prove their worth. The practice of gratitude has measurable effects on biochemistry, reducing stress hormones and optimizing the conditions for attractive pheromone production. This might be why grateful people seem to have a natural magnetism that draws others to them. Your life purpose and passion affect your biochemistry in profound ways. When you're engaged in meaningful work or pursuing genuine interests, your stress levels decrease and your vitality increases. This vitality is chemically detectable and incredibly attractive to others. The quality of your relationships affects your biochemistry. Men in healthy, supportive relationships, whether romantic, familial, or platonic, have different hormone profiles than men who are isolated or in toxic relationships. Love and connection aren't just emotional needs, they're biochemical necessities. Your sleep environment affects the quality of your rest, which affects your hormone production, which affects your attractiveness. Cool, dark, quiet environments promote deeper sleep and better hormone recovery. The ancient practice of sleeping grounded, in contact with the earth, may have biochemical benefits that modern science is just beginning to understand. The modern world presents unique challenges to biochemical optimization. Electromagnetic radiation from phones and computers may interfere with natural hormone production. Blue light exposure at night disrupts circadian rhythms and hormone balance. These aren't reasons to become a Luddite, but awareness of these factors allows you to mitigate their effects. Seasonal rhythms affect attraction patterns in ways most people don't recognize. Your body chemistry changes with the seasons, and understanding these patterns can help you optimize your attractiveness year-round. Spring and summer naturally support higher testosterone and more active pheromone production. The power of scent memory means that your unique chemical signature can become associated with positive emotions in someone's mind. This is why attraction often deepens over time. Their brain learns to associate your scent with good feelings, creating a powerful biochemical bond. Understanding this invisible world of chemical attraction doesn't diminish the beauty of human connection. It enhances it. When you realize that attraction is this sophisticated dance of biological compatibility, it becomes even more miraculous. You're not just two people choosing to be together. You're two biological systems recognizing their potential for creating something greater together. The implications of this knowledge extend far beyond dating and relationships. When you optimize your biochemistry, you become more attractive to everyone: potential romantic partners, friends, business associates, and even strangers. There's something about a person whose chemistry is optimized that makes others want to be around them. This is the secret that history's great seducers intuited but couldn't articulate. They understood that attraction happened at a level deeper than words or actions. They cultivated practices that optimized their natural magnetism, not through manipulation, but through becoming the most vital, authentic version of themselves. Your saliva is just the beginning. It's a window into the invisible world of chemical communication that's happening all around you, all the time. Every breath, every glance, every moment of proximity is an exchange of chemical information. Understanding this system doesn't make you manipulative. It makes you more authentic, because you realize that the best strategy is simply to be the healthiest, most optimized version of yourself. The bizarre secret isn't that it's all in your saliva. It's that it's all in your biochemistry, and your saliva is just one way this invisible communication system expresses itself. When you align your lifestyle, your mindset, your environment, and your practices with optimal biochemistry, you don't need pickup lines or manipulation tactics. You become naturally, irresistibly attractive at the most fundamental level possible. This is attraction in its purest form, not based on pretense or performance, but on the honest expression of your optimized biology. It's attraction that gets stronger over time instead of weaker, because it's based on authentic compatibility rather than surface-level manipulation. It's the difference between being chosen and being irresistible, between hoping someone will like you and knowing that your very presence is a gift to their biochemical system. The choice is yours. You can continue playing the surface game of attraction, hoping your words and actions will compensate for biochemical misalignment. Or you can dive deeper, optimizing the invisible forces that create genuine, lasting magnetism. The science is clear, the methods are available, and your biology is waiting for you to unlock its full potential.